What's up, guys? My name's Alex, and we're going to talk about NFL betting. So this is not your typical sports betting video. There's going to be some talk of math, some talk of line discrepancies, but it is 12:10 p.m. The games are set to kick off in like 50 minutes, and you can see lines are on the move. This is really when a lot of sharp bettors come in offshore and they start to place big bets. Lines start to jump around, and you can get some really big betting opportunities. Like here we see for Adam Troutman, never heard that name, but in the Saints-Packers game, right, if you had a Pinnacle account, Pinnacle has his over 2.5 total receptions, plus 112, and DraftKings has under 2.5, plus 120. So you have to move quick to get in on some of these, but you're getting plus money on the over and the under, right? If you just bet $100 on both sides, you'd make about a risk-free $15. That's not a bad return considering you're getting your money back later today. You're just placing two bets. So if you're able to move quick, you're essentially day trading sports. And right, there's no better time than 50 minutes before the games because that's when a lot of injury updates are coming out. That's when sharp action is coming in and these lines really start to move around. So you can see there's a ton of opportunities. A lot of them are in player props. I personally don't bet player props, so I'm going to click on that settings button. I'm going to turn off player props. The reason I don't bet player props is they tend to get you limited. So if you're winning big on props, that is the first indication to a sportsbook that you are a sharp sports bettor. So you are more likely to get limited quicker. We've talked about this in a lot of other videos. You're not going to retire off sports betting. This isn't an attractive profession. It's not a lucrative profession to do full time. That's why you see all these professional sports bettors starting companies to try to sell you something, is it's really not lucrative to do full time. But we're going to look for some mathematically profitable bets because that's not to say you can't make money. It just means you have to be smart about your bets and you're not going to retire off this, right? You're not going to do it full time. So here is an example of good betting opportunity, right? We see BetMGM in the Indians versus Brewers game has under 11 runs, minus 175. Pinnacle's one of the sharpest bookmakers in the world, Pinnacle and BookMaker. Those are the two sharpest sports books. What this OddsJam column does is we weight the odds from Pinnacle and BookMaker. So that gives you an indication of where the sharp sports books are. So you can kind of like spot steam moves quickly, right? The sharp offshore books, we give you a sense of where they are. So anyways, we'll place some bets. And you can see there's a lot of betting opportunities in football. I mean, just in a bunch of things. So what we're going to do is I'm just kind of scrolling through and then we'll place some bets. So Mariners -2, right? You can get that plus 163 odds on Twin Spires. That is a direct arb to Pinnacle. Pinnacle is only giving you plus 142, right? So this plus 163, there's clearly some value. So what we can do is actually go to the OddsJam positive expected value page. And this is where you can see a lot of these good betting opportunities. And on the bottom, it'll show you your mathematical profit margin to the zero vig line, which we've talked about in other videos from Pinnacle and BookMaker. So here we can see Mariners minus 2.5, plus 195 on Twin Spires. That's an arb to BetMGM. When there's an arbitrage bet, free money in sports betting, one sportsbook has to be wrong. So this plus 195 is clearly pretty good. So if we log in, this is a bet I definitely want to place. So we can go. I know it's not an NFL play, but it's still for sure good. And you can kind of go through. So this is what most sports bettors use when they're using OddsJam to find their plays, right? They want to identify line discrepancies to Pinnacle and to BookMaker, the two sharpest sportsbooks in the world. And that's what the OddsJam positive expected value page does, is we're processing millions of odds every 10 seconds to show you the line discrepancies to Pinnacle and BookMaker, which are typically mathematically profitable bets. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to sports, and then we're going to find Mariners minus 2.5, and hopefully it's still plus 195 odds. And if not, you move on to the next play. You're not going to get in on them all, like good lines. They're not going to last forever, but hopefully this one does. So we already see I have Diamondbacks -1 tomorrow. So if I go to Mariners minus 2.5, we can see it already moved a bit. it moved to plus 190, so a little less good, but it's still an arb to BetMGM. It still would be good to Pinnacle zero vig line. So right, if we go to the no vig fair odds calculator and we put in plus 166, minus 195, we see the fair odds are plus 175. We're getting plus 190. So it still seems like a good bet. So that's something that'll be our first play. So we're going to get 233.70 on it. So Mariners minus 2.5 plus 190. And we're going to get, how much were we able to bet on that? 233.70. So 233.70, again, I'm limited there. And then we can calculate our expected value like we've done in other videos. So according to Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker in the world, right, if you remove the vig, if you find the fair odds, the fair win probability, it's 0.3625 for this bet, 0.3625. Plus 175 is the fair odds, the zero vig line from Pinnacle. So what we can do is we're winning this times 1.9, and we are winning, so I can actually just add a column here called win probability. So win probability. And then if we go to the zero vig line from Pinnacle, we see our win probability is 0.3625. So 0.3625 is our win probability. And we bet this at plus 190 odds. So our profit, if we win, is going to be 233.70 times 1.9. That's how much profit we're getting, 233.70 stake at plus 190 odds. We're winning 36.25% of the time. The rest of the time, we lose, right? So minus 1 minus this, that's our loss probability, right? And then times our stake. So $11 in EV. So we currently have a bet good by $11.97 in expected profit to Pinnacle zero vig line. So that's our MLB pick of the day, I guess. And we've said this in previous videos. Your whole goal as a sports bettor is have 5, 10 mathematically profitable bets a day that are, plus EV to the zero vig line at Pinnacle Bookmaker. And then you kind of have this portfolio of bets, this diversified portfolio of bets, right? Kind of like investing in the stock market, and you just make money and you reduce your risk. So we'll go back. We can go back to the arbitrage page. We can look for, some other interesting line discrepancies, and we can see if there's anything interesting. So you can see there's a ton of arbitrage bets. So if you wanted to, again, use the arbitrage calculator, lock in a risk-free return. This is just line discrepancies between two sports books where you can day trade sports, lock in a risk-free return. So in the Chiefs versus Browns game, you could bet over 43.5 minus 133 odds on, BetMGM if you're in the US. In the under 43.5 plus 375 odds on Twin Spires. Or if you're in Canada, you could use BWin and Casumo, which are two Canadian sports books. So you can go down, you can see there are a ton of discrepancies in the totals market. So if you're more into not having risk, you're free to just arb all of these and make, $10 off each or whatever you can get off. So we can keep going. We can look for some interesting plays. Jags, right, next week we see Jags versus Broncos arbitrage opportunity in the money line. Not sure what is good yet. Here we see another interesting one. Cubs Giants, right? Pinnacle has this under 10 runs. Minus 155, it's minus 132 on Twin Spires. So what I can do is go to the Cubs game, under 10, this is clearly a bet I want action on. It's now minus 134. So they gave me 555. Let's see how much they give me. So they give me 555 plus 3705. So another mathematically profitable bet. So 555 plus 3705, that's our stake. And then we have the Giants game under 10, and we got that minus 132 odds. And we got this minus 132 odds. So another mathematically profitable bet, right? Again, when arbitrage exists between Pinnacle and another sports book, Pinnacle's the sharpest bookmaker in the world. They have it minus 155. So Pinnacle is steaming towards the under. You want to get in before that line moves and some other sharp bettor comes in and bets under 10 minus 134. And we see it already started to move a little. So we can do the same thing we've done in previous videos. We can find the zero vig line. So Pinnacle's market was minus 155 under 10 runs, plus 136 over 10 runs. So we want to say if Pinnacle wasn't charging vig, what would their fair price be? And it's minus 143.45. So we got minus 134 odds for something that is fair, that should be minus 143.45. So that's a win probability of 58.92%. So what we'll do is we'll go back here, 0.5892 is our win probability. You can also add in another column, I guess, which is loss probability. So again, like, you know, your loss probability is just going to be 1 minus this, right? So we're going to win this bet 58.92% of the time. And we can also put in another column, which will be, you know, our profit if win. So if we win, we're betting 592.05 under 10 runs, minus 134 odds. We are going to win this times 100 over 134, right? Our stake times 100 over 134 is betting $592.05 at minus 134 odds. So if we win a profit of 441.82, and this is minus 134 odds. We've talked about this, but tracking your bets, knowing your expected profit in a given day, it's really important, right? You want to know how much you're expecting to earn, and you want to track your profit ruthlessly. If you're not tracking your profit, it's really hard to know if you're a winning sports bettor or a losing sports bettor. So even on, you know, it's the first day of the NFL season, or NFL Sunday, we have games starting in 40 minutes. We're betting some baseball. So our EV is just going to be, again, this is how much we're winning. We're winning 58.92% of the time. So 58.92% of the time, according to Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker in the world, we are winning this bet 58.92% of the time. We're winning $441.82. And then the rest of the time, 41.08%, we are losing our stake, which is $592.05. So we have $17 in EV on that bet. So we have two mathematically profitable bets. Our expected profit margin on both bets combined is $29 so far, right? We can actually just make this total profit, and we can have this be the sum of these columns as we place a few bets. So we're currently sitting at $29 in profit. So this is the most important column. This is how much money I expect to make off my bets. And then we can go back and we can find some more mathematically profitable bets that we want to place. Again, if you do want to bet player props, you can turn them on, off. Your email notifications for OddsJam, you can turn on or off. And maybe you will be able to find some good NFL bets. I'm not sure. We can see lines are starting to jump in the Rockies versus Phillies game. BM just blasted towards in favor of the Rockies, it looks like. So that may be something to keep an eye on because it looks like lines are on the move in the Rockies game. Again, lines are constantly moving around, so you need to be looking for good opportunities. We can see Pinnacle's moving more towards the under now here, minus 155, plus 137. So anyways, we'll kind of go through. Right, here's another good bet. Panthers versus Jets, under 45.5. Pinnacle has it minus 123. Fanduel, you can get minus 105. So we can click on this game, and we can take a look at this. And this is the Panthers Jets. So what I'm going to do is pull up Fanduel, and we'll get an NFL pick in. So we want to go to total points. And then we wanted, where's the Fanduel column? There's so many odds. So we wanted the minus 105 on Fanduel. Total points. And then I'm looking for the minus 105. I believe it was on Fanduel. It may have just moved. So it looks like it already moved to minus 110. So some smart guy beat us there, right? Before it was minus 105, it just moved. So that's no fun. We just missed a good betting opportunity. We've said it before, though, you have to be quick. So we can kind of go through and we can look for some other good betting opportunities. We're currently sitting at $29 in expected profit with our two bets today. And we can go through, right? Mariners minus 2.5. We already bet that. And you can see here's a good one, right? Mets, Yankees. Interesting. Mets, Yankees, right? The bets are minus 105. on DraftKings. Pinnacle hasn't even posted a market yet, but BookMaker, again, a really sharp sports book, that's in this OddsJam column. It weights Pinnacle and BookMaker's line, so it looks like Pinnacle hasn't posted markets yet, but Pinnacle has the Mets minus 115, which is pretty cool. So what we'll do is we'll go to MLB, we'll go to Mets, and they're minus 105, which is great. So I want to log in quickly, and this is a bet I want to place. This is a profitable MLB bet. So what I'm going to do is go here quickly. I'll log in, and we'll get this bet down. And again, it's an arb to bookmaker. Either bookmaker or DraftKings has to be wrong here. They both can't be right? Bookmaker has it minus 115. DraftKings has it minus 105, which is an arb to bookmaker. So clearly this is a pretty good bet. So what we can do is we'll see how much I have in DraftKings. So I have $1,000. So let's place $500 on that. It's letting me bet 421.15. So I'm getting 421.15, 421.15, and this is Mets money line, minus 105 odds. So that means our profit if we win is again 421.15 times 100 over 105. And bookmaker, again, bookmaker and Pinnacle, you always have to be beating their odds. That is how you make money long term as a sports bettor. So bookmaker and Pinnacle, bookmaker has it this, which means bookmaker's zero vig line is minus 109.65, and our win percentage is 52.3%. So we're going to go back here, and we're going to go, our win percentage is 0.523. Our loss probability is 1 minus, equals 1 minus that. So 47.7% of the time we're losing our stake, $421, which means we are winning this 52.3% of the time. We're winning the profit 52.3% of the time. The rest of the time, we are losing the stake. So 884. So we're currently sitting at 37.97 in expected profit. So that feels pretty good. So now we have 3 profitable bets placed, all MLB on the first NFL Week 1 Sunday. First quarter money line. Here's an interesting one. Panthers, Jets. So it doesn't look like we have Pinnacle lines for that on OddsJam. So what I'll do is I'll go here, and I want to find the Panthers game. Lines are on the move. So I already own the Jets plus 205 odds, but so first quarter money line, we can see Jets are plus 127, Panthers are minus 143. DraftKings is giving you plus 145, which seems like insane value, right? So that's another good bet. And we'll talk about it in a sec. It's just, again, you have to get to these good ones quickly. So I want to go to halves, and then I want to go to Jets, plus 145, and let's see how much they give me. So it's under trader review. Again, being limited, I'm limited on all these sports books. When you go up a lot of money, they limit you. So I'm up. Okay, so they gave me $593. So Jets first half money line plus 145. They gave me $593, which means my profit if I win is 593 times 1.45. And Pinnacle's line is plus 127 minus 143. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the no fair odds calculator, plus 127 minus 143, which means the no vig fair odds are plus 133.58. We blew that out of the water, right? We got plus 145. You always have to be beating the zero vig line at Pinnacle and Bookmaker. That's how you're a mathematically profitable bettor. So we're winning 42.81% of the time. So our win probability is 0.4281. We lose the rest of the time, right? And if the game is tied, we get our money back. So our EV is going to be the profit if we win times our win probability minus our loss probability times the amount we bet, which is our stake. So $28 in EV. So we're currently sitting at $66.93 in total expected profit from my 4 bets, all mathematical, right? This is an arb to Pinnacle, right? We're getting this plus 145. Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker in the world, is only giving you plus 127 and is giving you minus 143 the other way. And that's really the power of OddsJam and having real-time data from, 30 plus sports books, right? This bet is incredible. And I'll show you another bet that I have on. So if I go to DraftKings and I go to my bets and I go to unsettled, we can see another good bet is Jets money line, right? I have them plus 205, so I didn't place this bet today, but just as an example, the Jets money line is plus 205. So if we go to the Jets game, I got the Jets plus 205 money line, right? So I'm very long the Jets, and I had $750 on, and it's plus 205 odds. So my profit if I win is 750 times 2.05, $1,537.45. So if we go to OddsJam and we go to the money line, we can see they're plus 166 on BookMaker. They're only plus 162 on Pinnacle. Again, BookMaker and Pinnacle are the two sharpest sportsbooks in the world. What this OddsJam column does is so useful because it weights Pinnacle and BookMaker for you to give you a sense of what the odds should be, right? So the weighted average of Pinnacle and BookMaker, the market is plus 164 minus 184. So we got plus 205. Now on the two sharpest sports books, the weighted average is plus 164. Seems pretty good. So plus 164 minus 184. The no vig fair odds are plus 171.04, and we got plus 205, right? And the current fair odds on the two sharpest sports books are plus 171. And our win probability is 36.89%, right? So 0.3689, same calculation. Our loss probability is 1 minus our win probability, which means we are earning our win probability times our profit minus our stake times our loss probability. $93 in EV on that bet, right? Insane. And that's the power of OddsJam, right? Like as these lines move, players get injured, the sharp sports books are going to start taking action and their lines are going to start to move. So the line has consistently moved towards the Jets over the course of this week. And if you're able to spot it first, you get incredibly profitable betting opportunities like Jets plus 205 money line. Like we can see, I got them plus 205. I bet 750. This game hasn't even started, and DraftKings is like, we'll give you 11.05 to cash it out. Like we'll let you cash it out for 761.05. But anyways, we'll go back. And again, if you just want to arb these, you can use the arbitrage calculator, lock in a risk-free profit. But we're not talking about that in this video. So here we can see, plus 110 Yankees, it seems like a fair price. So if you wanted to hedge out of a little bit of your, Mets risk, like we found earlier, the zero vig line from BookMaker was roughly plus 110. So, right, if we wanted to, what we could do is just arb this. And we could go to the Yankees, and we'll see how much they give me. I also don't remember how much I bet. So if I go to my bets, I'll see how much they gave me on. So I got 421.15 on the Mets. So what I can do is hit this arbitrage button. I got 421.15 on the Mets. So it's telling me I have to bet 391.55 on Fanduel, and I'll make a risk-free 9.55 in profit, right? So if I wanted to, what I could do is just do like, I think 390 is a bit of a sketchy number to bet, but whatever. I'll place 390, and I took it. So instead of having risk on this Mets bet that I placed, I now just have locked in a risk-free approximately $10, right? And why is it, why did I arb this one but not the other one? Well, BookMaker, right, if we go back here, we can see BookMaker's plus 105 minus 115, which means the fair price for the Mets, according to one of the sharpest sportsbooks in the world, and Pinnacle hasn't posted markets yet, the Mets should be roughly minus 110. The Yankees should be roughly plus 110. That's the point of indifference. So plus 110 is kind of fair. Minus 105 is a mathematically profitable bet. So if you were only going to pick one of them, you'd want to bet this, and you could add it to your bet tracker, 421.15 or whatever we bet, and then, 390 here. To track your closing line value, you can put it all in the bet tracker. And you can see it'll track your closing line value for you, everything like that, your profit and loss. It's really cool. So let's go back here. Here we can see another one, right? Panthers, Jets, under 45.5, minus 105. So we are ripping under in the Jets game. So let's move quickly. Let's try to get there. So we're on NFL. We want to go to Panthers, Jets, under 45.5. Did it move? We'll see. And we can see over or under. One sec, I got to go back to the ARB page. So we want to bet under 45.5 minus 105, and it looks like it may have already moved because the over is here and the under is minus 115, right? So this minus 115, it already moved. So we missed it when we were talking about the previous bet, but you know, it's fine. There will be other betting opportunities as we've already seen. It's just kind of moving on to the next one. So we can go down and we can look for any other good plays that we want to bet. We already bet this. And again, we now have like a portfolio of four bets, all mathematically profitable, all better than the zero vig odds from Pinnacle and BookMaker, the two sharpest sports books, and some pretty good NFL plays. And we have that already bet, you know, and you can kind of go through the ARB page and look for. So here's another good one, right? Like Mets versus Yankees, over 8.5 runs is an ARB to, you know, this is an ARB to BookMaker. This over 8.5 is good as well. So if you wanted to, you know, you could place a bet on that. So what I can do is go to the Broncos game. As we can see, I don't have any money in my DraftKings right now, but if I go to the Broncos game, 345.84, bet on the under 22, first half total points, under 22. I got this, you know, it's currently minus 151 on Pinnacle, and I have it bet minus 125, so I don't want to get rid of that bet. You know, these bets are pretty incredible. Over 8.5 in the Nationals game. It looks like the total's ripped higher. We can check that. And we can see that is the case, is it? Over 8.5 is minus 118. And we got it plus 100. And it's letting me cash out for $6 higher. So if you ever want to consider whether to cash out, what you'd want to do is go to your zero vig line. Well, let's see here. Here we can see another one, right? In this Cubs-Giants game, if you wanted more action on the unders, under 8.5 is also mathematically profitable. So what we could do is go to MLB, and we could go back to the Cubs game, and we could go to under 8.5, no, under 9.5, and what odds did we want to bet? And we can see we're getting minus 115. That's an ARB to Pinnacle, right? Pinnacle's plus 116 the other way, minus 131 all the way down. So we could bet this, right? And then we'll have a little more sweat on this game. So 520.38, and it's making me log back in. So I'm going to log back in. We'll place that bet, and then I think we'll call it a day. So I'm placing 510.38. So under 9.5, minus 115 Giants game. And I am betting 510.38. So 510.38. And again, if you're curious about how to determine exactly how much to place on every positive expected value bet, what you can do is just use the Kelly criterion, right? There are formulas to do it. The issue is I'm already limited on all of these sportsbooks, so it doesn't really matter. Like, they only give me $500 total, so that's just kind of what I place. So again, we bet this minus 115 odds. The zero vig line from Pinnacle is minus 122.15. So our win probability, implied win probability is 0.5505. Our loss probability is 1 minus that, which means our profit is going to be this times this minus this times our stake. Loss probability times stake, $14 in EV. So currently $81 in expected profit bet. So you can kind of go through. You can see there are tons and tons and tons of line discrepancies. You could bet unders in this Panthers game on BetMGM. So under 47 minus 139. I don't feel like logging in to bet it right now. Here's another good one. First half money line. You know, Colts plus 130. It's an ARB to Pinnacle. So another mathematically profitable bet. So things are always popping up. They're always going away. Over 4.5 first half total runs in the Astros versus Angels game, right? So ARB to Pinnacle. Pinnacle has it minus 128 plus 11. So what we can do is go to Astros. and try to get there quick and go to first half. First half total runs over 4.5, minus 110. So let's see how much they give me, 272.3. And we're adding another profitable MLB bet to the mix. So 272.3 they took. And then we can go to Astros first 5 total over 4.5 minus 110. And I don't remember how much they gave me, but I'm sure I can figure it out. So if we go down, we can see a lot of open football bets. But anyways, you get the point. Track your bets, track your profit margin. You can add a bet to your bet tracker by just clicking this little plus button. And then you could add it, I think it was 210.38. So you could add that in, save it. It'll track your CLV, track your profit and loss. And again, I hope you found this video helpful. Please like, share, subscribe. Check out OddsJam. So here's another one. First half point spread, Colts +4, minus 160. Pinnacle has it minus 193. It looks like we're starting to rip more towards the Colts as we get closer to game time in the Seahawks game, right? And then we see this Mariners run line -2 +163. So that was still good. So it looks like we already have Mariners. So if we go to Mariners -2 +160, it looks like it came down a bit. They'll give us 277.52. And we can see Mariners -2. We got +160. That's an arb to Pinnacle, which has +41. And that's an arb to Pinnacle, which is -160 the other way, right? So the zero vig line from Pinnacle would be +141, -160. And again, that's kind of how you go through the computations of finding line discrepancies, finding profitable betting opportunities. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please like, share, subscribe. We'll be making a lot more. And enjoy the start to NFL football.